Well, thank you all for coming. And just to give you a little history about me, I started in nursing 50 years ago at the age of 19. I actually started as a nursing student as 18, but when you're a student, you have to have your clinicals, and I went to work in the hospital as well as having my clinicals. So the day I graduated from nursing was my birthday. I was 21 years old, went and did my testing, passed, and I've been a nurse ever since, right? Well, I always wanted to be in natural medicine. And I just really believe that it's very important. Over the years, I remembered my grandmother doing water treatments on us. I had them done hot fomentations on myself when I was 7 years old, and I had bronchitis. I had bronchitis a lot as a child, and we'll discuss that, what causes those things, especially in children, but there's a whole lot of people in the world that have problems with bronchitis. And later on in my nursing experience, I came across a patient who had COPD really bad. What do you think causes COPD? You have any idea? Well, diet might, okay? Lack of smoking, that's the one I'm looking for. Smoking and treating our bodies not good, right? Okay, that's one thing. The other thing, you can be asthmatic, you can have allergies. They don't necessarily cause COPD, but you think of emphysema and COPD as something that happened to you because of lifestyle, right? And so I said, well, for how long did you smoke? And she said, I never have. She said, I had bronchitis a lot as a child, and it grew up into the COPD that I have in my old age. And COPD will eventually take out your lungs. Now I'm going to share, I brought a bunch of books. I hope you don't mind. I believe in education, and we can educate ourselves too, right? All right, and the way we educate ourselves is through books and reading, and put away the TV and put away the cell phone and the Nintendo games and all. Well, they don't even have Nintendo anymore. You can see how outdated I am. The video games. Put something wise in your book, in your mind. I'm going to share with you this fellow here is Dr. Max Gerson. As a young man, as a child, and a teenager, he had terrible migraines, and he didn't know why. And as he grew a little older, he started experimenting. Why do I have migraine headaches, and what can I do to help them? And he started experimenting with his own diet, what he ate, and he came up and he got rid of his migraine headaches just by diet. But there's a book out, I think it's called The Gerson Way. It is a book called 50 Case Studies that he has written with his own hand. And I recommend that. 50 case studies. Yes, it's a long time ago, but he helped 50 people with serious cases of cancer, one of them with lupus, many migraine headache sufferers, and he was telling you what he did and how they overcame these problems in their life through changing what they ate, building their bodies, minerals and vitamins. And anyway, this, if you're interested, for cancer and chronic diseases, Healing the Gerson Way. Do you know back in about 1920, 1925, maybe as late as 1927, the healing of America went to the congressional to the Senate and to the House, whether they're going to have the allopathic or natural. And natural healing lost by 2 votes. 2 votes. Therefore, it got kicked out of America. Dr. Max Gerson had to take his healing ways to Tijuana. He does have a clinic, or there's a clinic in San Diego, but you go down to Tijuana to be treated. We are going to be studying a lot of things in a short period of time. We're going to be concentrating tonight on water therapies mixed with other things, okay? Charcoal, herbs like turmeric, ginger, garlic, onions. I hope you like those things. How many are allergic to garlic? I found out my sister-in-law is allergic to garlic. Is anybody, you don't, praise the Lord. The one thing I have to tell you, if you're on blood thinners, okay, if you're on blood thinners, you can't take garlic and blood thinners at the same time because garlic thins your blood. Prescription for nutritional healing. I probably have 3 of these from 5 or 10 years apart. I want to share with you, as a nurse, I get a lot of people asking me what to do and what with this and this and this. Well, I happen to have this beautiful book that all I have to do, okay, I know that diet and exercise, getting a good night's sleep. Okay, how many people here have heard of the New Start acronym? Okay. New Start, 8 things. N is for nutrition. E? Exercise. W? Water. What kind of water? Pure, good water. Okay, as best as you can get, all right? And then we go start. S, sunshine. T, yes, temperance in all things. That means moderation, right? Moderation. We even need to eat in moderation, not get overstuffed, right? All right, so the S-T-A, fresh air, fresh air. That's oxygen, breathing. R, rest. And then another T, trusting in God is one thing that makes the stress easy. If we know that God cares about us and we know that He is working because He cares for us, it's going to take a lot of stress out of this life. Do we need to de-stress? But the best way to get our vitamins and minerals is from plant foods. Now then, we have a problem with our soil these days, and the fact that all the farmers, the big farmers, have farmed and farmed and farmed the same soil year after year after year, and only put in a little fertilizer that makes the beautiful stuff grow, and it makes it green so it looks good, but it's almost totally devoid of the vitamins and nutrition that it used to have. So then, whether you're eating a good diet or not, you might not be getting as many vitamins and minerals and nutrition that we need from the food. I listened to, 30 years ago, at least 20 years ago, around, to a young doctor who had made a vitamin, and it went very nice. It went around the world. But the thing is, he said an orange a long time ago was full of vitamin C. Back in the 1950s, you cut and you examine an orange and it hardly has any vitamin C in it. Now that was 75 years ago, almost. And how much do you think is in it today? I'm just letting you know that there are problems with our food. You can still get good food, especially as best in the organic department, but there might even be problems with that. So this one will talk about water, talks about amino acids and what they are. Does anybody know what an amino acid is? 9 are essential. The reason why the body can make up the others with our own body. But there are actually, so there are 9 now. They used to say 8. Recently they found another one. So there is now 9 essential amino acids. And if you can get that through your food, and this is where food combining needs to go hand in hand. If you have beans, they're wonderful. But it's not a complete protein unless you add a grain. That's the reason why Hispanic food is great, because they add corn, right? And what if you're whole wheat, and it's best if it's whole wheat. Use your brown rice, because the whole food should have things in it, more fiber, more nutrients, and it will just be a better food for you. What is an antioxidant? It destroys the free radicals. And why do we want to destroy free radicals? Free radicals damage our cells. That's one of the things that make our bodies weak to cancer viruses. If we have good, strong immune system, that means we can fight these antioxidants, or we will have these antioxidants to fight the free radicals. I have things at home that make distilled water, okay? And I'm going to demonstrate something here. So I brought my own distilled water, and they're about $300. You can have a distiller right in your own home to cleanse and everything, the water that comes through your tap, which is getting more dangerous. And then you can also boil it over the fire. I have a distiller that you can put right on top, and it will bring it to a boil and distill water from a fire, a rocket stove or whatever. And I suggest that is the best, cleanest water available. People tell me, oh, but you're going to lose your minerals and everything else. It does not take the minerals from the body. Especially, the thing is, it's not going to, if you're eating good food, it's not going to deplete your food from the body, right? It will take out toxins, and it will take out bad substances. But this is what God made in the rain as it's going up in the cloud and in our environment. It's a cleansing process. It's a very cleansing process that God made to clean our water here on the earth. The rivers run down to the oceans, and they're all evaporating up into the sky. What happens when they evaporate? Then they become clouds, and they drop pure distilled water from the top. But what happens to it as it comes down? What did it start out, though? It started out pure distilled water, right? Before all the contaminants in our air, recontaminated it. So I'm going to say that even rainwater might need to be distilled, because it was distilled at the top, and then coming down, washing the air, it became got toxins in it again. So I just want to let you know that this is the way that God is cleaning our water in oceans and rivers, by distillation and dropping it back down. Only we've contaminated our air so much. The importance of nutrition. You can change a lot of things with nutrition, but the other thing is movement. Exercise is important. Movement gets us to breathing that fresh air. Hopefully it gets us outside in the sunshine, right? And so you can write these things down if you brought notepads. New start, nutrition, exercise, water. Now, as you're thinking of these things, exercise demands water, doesn't it? Okay, exercise demands air. Exercise demands nutrition, right? Gets your muscles moving, gets your bodies moving. And it still happens today. I can be exhausted. I don't, grumble and complain. Then I get up and I go outside and I breathe that wonderful air, and I start exercising, doing the work that I need to do, and my body is rejuvenated. All right? So it's a good thing that we have them all. Okay, then we get good sleep from all that, nutrition, exercise, and water, and good sleep. And then we're temperate with our body. My main liquid is this. Once in a while, I have a little bit of fruit juice, but I don't drink a lot of fruit juice. I like it in the apple and the orange and the grapefruit. It's the one thing my body craves, and the more you drink it, the more you want it. And I'm going to tell you, your body, the more you drink it, the more you want it. Your body is wanting this. Now, the other thing water is good for is cleaning our body outside. And I recommend, if you're going to take a shower, I love baths, but we're just too busy to take a bath all the time. So every time I take a shower, it's nice and warm, and then I always exit on the cold. Always exit on the cold. What does that do? Does anybody know what And if you want even more, you can go back in the hot and cold, and you can do it 4 or 5 times. Because every time you go in that cold water and you end with the cold, it increases your white blood cells. What do white blood cells do? It fights the germs. They go in, they phagocytize. That means they eat up all the garbage, all right? All the bad dead cells, all the viruses, the bacteria, they go in there and they clean up your blood and they clean up the body on the inside. And the more water you have on the inside, the better. And then you have the water on the outside, which comes through the skin. Anybody perspire and then smell yourself? Okay, it comes through the skin and you need to wash this stuff off. Then we have temperance, air. We've talked about fresh air. Fresh air is important. Oxygen is important. Then rest. Oh, we forgot. The S was for sunshine, wasn't it? Sunshine, very important. And if you can put your clothes out on the clothesline, it even does great for cleaning. You're taking the bacteria and the stuff out of the clothes. It actually sanitizes your clothes if they're out in the fresh air. So the other thing is, we always put on sunscreen. And sometimes if you're out in the sun, you may need to put a hat on, a big, broad hat or something. The sun, in appropriate times of the day, and I'm going to tell you, to take a sun bath in the appropriate times of the day, and they really say from 12 to noon, sometimes on the warmer places you can get it there 9 o'clock in the morning, and just take a 10 or 15 minutes to the side and take a nice sun bath. The UV rays come down and it feels so wonderful. You thought you had aches and pains, and when you get out of that sun bath, it is amazing how many aches and pains they take away. It increases your white blood cells. It increases your vitamin D, all right? Vitamin D is good for the body. Without vitamin D, which from the main source is the sun, you might get a little bit from the foods that have been injected with some sort of vitamin D. But the best source is the sun. So you've got to get outside and expose your limbs, but not to the cold, but you want to expose them to the sun for a period of time. But when I have been exhausted, you put on a bathing suit, and then you go out in your yard, and then you have your privacy, and you can take those beautiful sun baths that just are so rejuvenating, and they will take away the pain, and they will give you the vitamin D that your body needs to make, by the way, all the nutrients, minerals that make your heart work better. And they will rest is important. As you know, I just told you I've been working 12-hour shifts a long time. And for a lot of my nursing career, I was a night nurse because they had a hard time finding people to work nights, and I just never could get off of those night shifts. So I'll tell you, when I finally did get off of them, I was so thrilled. All right, just know that your sleep is very important, and how many hours are the best to have? 8 to 9. So if you get 7 to 9, according to some people, but truly, don't deprive your body if you can help it. Get a good rest. And we're going to learn about charcoal today. There's this book that you might like to know about. It's called charcoalremedies.com. It's also, I think you can get charcoalremedies.com on your computer. All right, but now, if we have time, I'd like to take you through and learn about charcoal. And I know I'm running out of time. But we'll do this real quick, and then I'm going to show you a few other things. So this is, can you imagine she's drinking it? We're going to learn more about charcoal, which is one of nature's amazing remedies. I had a doctor once, she's written some of these books, Agatha Thrash, you might recognize her. I took a lecture from her. I went to the natural remedies. She said, if I was out on a desert island, stranded, and I could only have one thing, it would be charcoal. Charcoal will pull out poisons. It'll pull out toxins. If you get food poisoning, one day, my sister called me, Sherry. She was rolling in agony when I got there. I took my charcoal. I was going to have her drink. Oh, I can't drink it. Well, I made a poultice and I put it over her tummy then. Within less than 5 minutes, she was stopped rolling. She's, what in the world is that stuff? What is charcoal? Charcoal is a substance found by burning either wood, coconut shells, in the absence of oxygen. By the way, you can also burn bones. All right, okay. And what remains is a burning process. Of the burning process is the pure black carbon. Okay, medicinal charcoal comes in a fluffy black powder and has no color or taste. By the way, I want you to taste how many take medicines at this time? Okay, you may not want to take charcoal because it will probably absorb the pills. Okay. And activated charcoal, what's the difference between activated charcoal and the charcoal that you get from your fireplace or from, your, I will tell you that charcoal, you can use it too, you just have to use a little bit more of it. Charcoal has a lot of holes in it, and it acts kind of like a sponge, except it just adds things to it. So as it's going through your bloodstream and it comes across a virus, it just sticks to it. Bacteria sticks to it. Things like dead cells sticks to it. And as that charcoal goes out your body, it takes all that stuff with it. It's called adsorption instead of absorption. It's added. And so and it's very porous, so it's got a lot of little holes in all that powder, and it just takes that out of your body. All right. So I want you to know that you can make it. So when the small particles, it's greatly magnified. Okay, we already talked about that. It binds toxins, poisons, gases, and even germs. And once trapped in the charcoal, these things become harmless because they just go right on out. Charcoal comes in two varieties: activated charcoal and carbon that has been treated with high steam. It makes the charcoal even holier and enhances its ability. So can you use fireplace or charcoal as you're camping? Yes, you can. Just pulverize it, and you just may have to use a little bit more because it may not have as many holes. All right, although this method was not developed until the early 20th century, regular charcoal has been in use and is very effective. All right, here are some features. Charcoal is readily available, and I will tell you, in Haiti and all the countries that are impoverished, and they have charcoal, right? It's simple to use internally, externally. It's totally harmless, and it's highly effective. All right. I should have been. Okay. It's important to note that the following items are not to be used as medicinal charcoal. You do not use charcoal briquettes. All right. They have dangerous chemicals. Burned toast and other scorched foods contain harmful substances, and it's important not to, we already talked about, yeah. All right, internal uses of charcoal. Charcoal works best when it's mixed with a glass of plain water. It's easy to drink, and like you say, if you need to take the black off, just take some plain water and we'll swish it around. It just goes away. Thoroughly mix 1 to 2 large tablespoons of charcoal in a small amount of water, then fill the glass and stirring frequently. You may want to use a drinking straw if you don't want to get it all your teeth, but it's not a problem. Follow the charcoal drink with some plain water, and you can rinse out the cup and take the rest of the charcoal. The one thing, it's best to take charcoal in between your meals, at least 2 hours after taking your prescription medicines, because charcoal will probably absorb all your drugs. So get it into your system before you take charcoal. Charcoal is often used with great success for poisoning, intestinal gas. If you eat something that gives you a lot of intestinal gas, charcoal is the answer. Nausea and vomiting, especially if you've been to Taco Bell. This happened to me once. I took some charcoal and it was it was very helpful. And also my sister that I just told she was excruciating pain, she wouldn't take it inside, so I made her poultice and no problem. You have diarrhea, you can take it. And now for poisoning. Poisoning is important. We've already talked about all these things, so we're going to go through this. It's a good choice for poison in children as well as adults. It is most effective when taken within the first 30 minutes. And here's what to do. Immediately you drink your charcoal solution. Immediately drink 4 to 10 large spoonfuls of charcoal mixed in a small amount of water. Refill the glass and take all the sediment from the sides. Repeat the dosage if you need to, because sometimes, you need to repeat it again. All right, it will do something the first time, but if you want it to go away, take it again. I will tell you that I've rarely had to take it more than once or twice, but nevertheless, sometimes, especially in Haiti, where there's a lot of bugs, you might need to. Treat children with half the adult dose, so always keep a container of charcoal powder in your first aid cabinet at all times. Keep it stored dry and tightly covered. It will keep for an indefinite. You will never have to throw it away until it's empty, because it will keep no matter what. Do not give charcoal by mouth to anyone that is asleep or unconscious or otherwise unable to swallow. Then you can put that on the outside. All right. In case of vomiting, drink 1 or 2 large spoonfuls of powdered charcoal each vomiting episode. You may follow the charcoal with a plain glass of water, if tolerated. If the charcoal is vomited up, drink another glass immediately. Infants and small children with diarrhea are at great risk for dehydration, so be sure to give them plenty of water along with other rehydration drinks, which I have up here. The other thing is, with a child, you can make gray water. You can just mix a little, and in their bottle, they will drink it. The gray water, which is just a light bit of charcoal, will help a lot, right? All right, you can put the charcoal over an earache, in infections and inflammations. It will help to keep infection out of wounds. You do not want to put charcoal just on the wound because it could tattoo somebody. Put it in a paper towel, okay? Or a light cloth, a bandana works well, and then you just put it on with a little bit of saran wrap and an ace wrap to hold it on. Lesions from poisonous plants are something else that you can, if you get poison, this is the way to go. And just make sure if you don't want to have little black spots, you put it in a cloth. You don't put it. You can put it directly on your skin if you don't have an open wound. Okay, and then also it's good for bee stings, for wasp stings and things. Like if you don't have an EpiPen, charcoal is the way to go. And you can put them in a tub. Well, I came back from Tennessee. And I must have walked through the grass, itching everywhere on my legs. I just got myself in a tub. Charcoal took all the itching away. Chiggers, I guess. All right, snake bites and spider bites. Yes, it's very good for those things. I will tell you that I taught this down in, must have been Nicaragua, in Guatemala. I've been several places around the world. And I told them, as we were in a room half this size and had 3 times that many people in it. But anyway, I told them, look, take your charcoal from your wood stove. They had, from their charcoal wood, they had charred wood. and put it in your medicine cabinet. Well, this lady did this, and her little girl went out to the outhouse, got bit by a yellowbeard, which is a very, very, one of the most poisonous types of rattlesnakes. She came in and she started her on this charcoal, and I said, then you get them to the doctor. And the thing, why do you start charcoal? The doctor. You know how far it was away? Hour to hour and a half drive. Okay, so they started treating her on the outside and on the inside with charcoal. She had to wait in line, got in there, and they were going to give her antivenom, and this girl doesn't need anything. What did you do? Well, we gave her charcoal. Where in the world did you learn that? They were afraid, I will tell you, because they get a lot of propaganda, okay? They were afraid to say who did it. Oh, some people from the university came and taught us. Well, we all had university degree, education and degrees, so they weren't telling a lie. But they didn't want to tell them. These Americans came and told. So anyway, but they didn't even have to treat her. And the same thing has happened here in America with others. But I want you to know, yes, take them to the doctor. And the thing is, one day we may not have the doctor to take them to. So you need to know this. All right. And in a bathtub, you can take a couple cups. Did you see that? A couple cups of charcoal in a bathtub. Now I'm going to tell you, just like up here, I'm still wiping it off. You will want to wipe around the bathtub really well after you're done. But I will. It's a miracle, something that God has given us that does not cost a lot of money. Okay. We're going to learn about poultices, so we will talk about this, but we already talked a little bit about it. Treatment for localized conditions. You wash the skin well, and then you can put on a charcoal poultice, and it will help with lesions, poisonous plant lesions, inflammation, bee stings, insects, bites, and other things. All right, so here, wash, apply the poultice, remove and discard, and make another one. How to prepare a new poultice, and we're going to learn that. All right. Treatment of multiple bee stings, spider bites, and snake bites. A word of caution: multiple bee stings, allergic reactions to them, as well as poisonous spider bites, are all medical emergencies and need immediate attention. Okay, immediate attention. Did you get that? If you're an hour away, you need immediate attention, and this is something that you can do while you're taking them. We've already talked about to the emergency room or whatever. And don't, right, immediately wash. You already know that. And you can submerge the bite in a cool bath of charcoal. All right. Change it every 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you that with snake bite and sunbees, you want to change it every 10 minutes if you can. You just do it as quickly as possible. Because as that charcoal is adsorbing, it needs new stuff to adsorb more, right? So you just constantly make a poultice if you can, make several, and then apply it as quickly as you can. Charcoal by mouth. So we already talked about this. And take another glass afterwards. You want to take plenty of fluid with charcoal so that, because one thing, you can cause constipation if you do not take enough water. So be sure and take a couple of glasses. Yeah. Should pain and swelling progress, you can add ice to the area and you can seek more medical help. All right. It has saved many lives, especially in cases where medical help was unavailable. Over and over again, charcoal has proven itself to be a remedy of highest value. In many cases, the simple remedies of nature, when used properly, are far more effective than our high-tech wonders of modern medicine. And 1 Corinthians, I was looking for this. God has chosen the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty. 1 Corinthians 1:27. And somebody looking at charcoal would think, what do you want that for? But it does amazing things. My mother, I'm going to close this out now. My mother was bit by a red ant. Everybody see those things? She had been bit earlier and had a good size reaction to it. But the more she got bit by them, the bigger it began. I got a call from my sister, and it was huge. My mother couldn't get up. It was so painful. I went and put a poultice on it. 45 minutes later, she's up in the kitchen and working. I said, Mom, you took off your poultice? She said, yeah, it's really bit. And it had gone from this and very thick down to this. I said, you can have left it on. It would have taken it all away. And when I have used it, you just leave it on for 12 hours or 8 hours and change it every 8 hours or change it every 12. For me, before I went to work and when I got off work, I worked 12-hour shift, so that was the way I did it. All right, so we're going to teach you here how to make a poultice, all right? One rule of thumb, you kind of want twice the amount, thank you so much. You kind of want twice the amount of charcoal, poultice to go over. And see, I have a cut here. If that was to get infected, which it looks slightly, you want to go around it like this, not just that much. Just put it enough around it to go around the tissues that will help get the infection out. All right, so we're not going to make a big poultice. A lot of times my classes, I have everybody make one, but you can practice this at home. So I'm just going to, again, use this small. Does anybody have something you'd like to have a poultice on? All right. Oh, yeah, very good, thank you. All right. So, and then you use the same amount. Now, I've got ground up flaxseed here. Ground up flaxseed, already been ground for me. I have a coffee grinder that I grind my own at home. Yes?
Psyllium seed works too.
Psyllium seed, and we were going to talk about, do you know other things that work? Well, I'm going to tell you that they don't have flaxseed in Haiti. I've been to Haiti 5 times, taught this several times over there, and they were very excited to learn all this stuff, I will tell you. All right, yes?
Is it okay to add honey to the flax and charcoal?
For vitamins, maybe? You don't?
So it sticks on the wound better.
You really don't want it to stick to your wound unless, and believe me, it's not going to have any problem sticking. But if you're going to put it on your skin, it will stick there. Okay, so I wouldn't waste the honey because it won't hurt anything. Honey does have more, some vitamins and stuff. But basically, you probably really don't need honey, and honey's pretty expensive. Now, I put about the equal amount of, there was equal amount of charcoal and, what is this stuff? Flaxseed. I'm trying to think too many things at one time. So that you use hot water because it helps it mix better and to gel. If you've ever mixed charcoal and cold water, it just doesn't mix very well. And the reason why you put the flaxseed in, because it's going to get thicker. Oh, I probably left it in there. That's where it is. We need just a little more, probably of each. And in the hot, it helps it gel pretty fast. And if you would see at first, at first it was real runny, and now it's getting clumpy, and the heat really helps a lot. If you can put this in the microwave if you need to, because sometimes our hot water cools down a little fast. Look at this, it's getting thicker and thicker. If you were to put it in the microwave, it would get even thicker. But I'm just going to use this. You want it to look like jam or runny jam. Not really runny, but you want it to be kind of slow, thickness of honey. And then you can pour it on your poultice. You can get all out there and smooth it around. And see that little bit that I had? A teaspoon of each. See what size of a poultice it's making? And I've taken this paper towel and folding it just like a sandwich, put some on each side. See how big that is? With that just a little bit? Okay, now so you use a teaspoon of each, and you use about 3 or 4 teaspoons of water, and you may want to add more water later. But then you put it on your arm, and you get up, and I'm sorry, I'm not very organized here today. I usually have a bag or saran wrap or something, and you put that over, and then you can just put it on with, I do have that here. I was going to show you this because I already told you I've had horses most of my life. Anyway, so this is a boot, or I should say a leg wrap. So if you have it on a leg, this is about the proper size, but for my arm it's going to be way too big. But you can and you can take an ace wrap. You can take an ace wrap and put it on there. I have come to where the fact that especially you can make these smaller if you want, just by cutting them, and there you can go on about your job. You've got it. You put a little plastic on it first, it keeps it more moist longer. You can put this on your leg, and it'll go clear up your leg if you hurt your whole leg. But if you want to make it for your arm, you got put a little bit of Velcro here and on it, which you have that sticky Velcro, and you have enough for 2 arms or an arm and a leg. Okay, so, and the reason why I'm going to go out here, because I'm going to show you that this already has Velcro on it. And if you get it on the wrong way, you can just turn it and attach it. And it should stick to itself, but there we go. We'll turn it here until it's got the sticky stuff there. Anyway, so you can do yourself. Now, it's not very pretty, but we're okay. So I want to share with you, and we're going to make these really quick. We have some flyers up here for dehydration. When I got back from Haiti about the second time, maybe the first time, in October, a lot of people had been displaced by the earthquake, and they had gone north, and a lot of people didn't have good houses, so they were had a tarp house. Some of them didn't have that, so they'd go bathroom up in the woods and wouldn't bury it. Then the rains came. What happened to all that waste? It went down, and right down into the streams that the people drank from. Cholera broke out. So I want you to know it's very important to bury your waste. Okay, if you're going to be up in the mountains, don't forget there's other people around, and bury it. Okay, but if you have a problem with diarrhea, can't get over it, cholera or anything, you need to have this rehydration drink. This tells you very well what to do, and it will tell you too, if you make it with sugar and salt and water, you don't have to refrigerate it or whatever. If you're going to put powdered cereals, baby pablum and stuff like that, you need to refrigerate it. This is a recipe to help in time of need. Herbs are so full Now, parsley. Oh, man. I've got parsley that I've been growing for years, and it pops up again. It seeds itself. Wonderful thing. Cilantro. Help me think of some other herbs. Comfrey. Something I want to talk to you about is comfrey. And nettles. Stinging nettles. Oh, people say stay away from stinging nettles. Do you know they're one of the most nutritious plants in the world? Golden seal, yes. Echinacea is a flower, a beautiful flower. Oregano. I have what's that? Dandelions are wonderful. Yes, and so learn all of these things. There's hundreds and hundreds, and I think, okay, here's one. Herbal recipes, and this lady, her name is Rosemary Gladstar, and she knows how to, she'll tell you how to do it. And she's got several books, and I have 2 of them. I couldn't find the other one. I sometimes, share my books, and sometimes they don't come back with me, or maybe I don't get them back in the bookshelf where they belong. Anyway, so this is a wonderful herb book, and it will be out here. All these books will be out here so you can get the ISBN numbers. This is a wonderful essential herbs. This lady gives you the 10 best, not best, 10 that she uses a lot, and they are cayenne, chaparral, cloves. Did you know that cloves, how many have fungus problems? Cloves and melaleuca and ginger and stuff. Can anybody tell me what this is? I just made this week. Corn silk. What's it good for?
Blood sugar.
Blood sugar. It's also good for if you're retaining, urine in your bladder. It's a diuretic. It will help you get rid of the extra fluid in your body. It will help your bladder be able to empty itself. And you just make a tea. I just took the corn silk right out of my fresh corn. I dried it in my dehydrator. You can do it outside if you have enough, you don't want to do it straight in the sun. All right, you want to do it in the shade on a warm day, and it will dry. If anybody would like to try some corn silk tea, we have it here. All right, so the other thing that you can use are, what are these? Essential oils. And this is cilantro essential oil. This one is eucalyptus. This one's peppermint. And, eucalyptus is good for the lungs. Peppermint is good for the lungs. And you can put it on the outside. Cilantro, I'm learning more about, okay? It's very good for a lot of different things. And you can get a book, and I should have had, I think that book, we'll talk to you about it. Yarrow, St. John's, Wounds, yes. What is good? Comfrey. Okay, comfrey is called knit bone. If you have a broken bone that's having a hard time healing, comfrey, you can put a comfrey poultice on. You can drink comfrey tea for skin problems. Now I'm going to tell you that they have basically taken comfrey away because they say somebody died of liver problems. Okay, I'm going to caution you, if you're alcoholic, you may not want to drink comfrey. But if I do not drink comfrey every day of the week, all right? I do know that people with skin problems, psoriasis and, eczema and stuff like that, they have. And it helped their eczema and their psoriasis to go away. But again, you may have to take a break from it once in a while to let your liver clear it out. There's some toxins in there you may not want every single day of your life. So, and the same with golden seal. Golden seal is great. I got something one time, possibly. I got food poisoning, could not get rid of it. That's where I found out about charcoal, and I found out about golden seal and everything. All right. Okay, this is years ago when I'm still a novice, but when I didn't know much of anything. Anyway, so I drank golden seal, and it says drink it for 3 weeks. I drank it for the whole 3 weeks. Well, you're really not supposed to drink it that much, but thankfully It didn't hurt me. But nevertheless, you shouldn't do golden seal for more than a week. But it took away the nausea so that I could go to work and everything. And at the end of about 3 weeks, my nausea was gone, and it was from some food poisoning that I had gotten. And I can't remember now what it was from. But anyway, it was so bad that it would not stop, and I don't like going to the doctors. On the back of this one, you find your poultice. We just did it. I hope that we went through it well enough. And this, something I should tell you. What are the indications for a poultice? And I hope the whole thing got on here. Okay, you can use materials. You can use charcoal, herbs, mustard, clay, bentonite clay, right? Coffee, shredded potatoes, shredded carrots, cabbage. If you need to use things, and I will tell you that for cabbage, you pound the leaf, put it right on, and potato, you grate the potato, put it on. Do you know that makes a lot of sloppy mess, right? You put a thin towel over it. If you put plastic over that to help the moisture stay next to the leg, then put one of these things on, right? If it's on a leg, you got plenty of, look at this. Look how big this was, You got plenty of stuff. And I was so happy when I decided to use these. Now, ace wraps are fine, but they don't always stay in place. But that does. Stays where you put it, all right? So I'm just going to tell you, you need to go to the vet store and get some of these things. Potato is good for burns. Your burn doesn't stay hot forever, okay, but it needs healing afterwards. So I would put it on. You can put potato right on you. It's not going to, you can wrap it something to absorb some of that. But you don't want, because you're not really wanting to absorb it, you're wanting it to go into the body. Indications: pain, congestion, inflammation, bee stings, insect bites, abscesses. Especially charcoal will bring that abscess to a head so you can get rid of the poisons. Swelling, wound healing, antisepsis. And if you have infection, it will take the infection out. And there have been many wounds that even doctors have a hard time healing. Charcoal and comfrey. Just remember, if it's an open wound, put a cloth, a bandana, a white piece of muslin that's been washed and gotten all the, in water, and make it as clean as possible, even of the chemicals. And charcoal will not go through it to leave a tattoo if there's something between. You can put it straight on the wound if that's what you've got. I know people that, have had tumors, they put it right over it, but there's no open wound, right? And bentonite clay, you can use bentonite clay in the same way you can use charcoal. Yeah. Okay, so I want to make for you something. What did I just do with that? Here it is. When I got COVID, I will tell you, the first day I just had it 99.2. Hardly anything, 99.2. All right, and I felt tired. So then I just went to bed. I put charcoal on my chest the first night. Felt good, all right? Charcoal poultice. And around my throat. So the next day I slept. Next night I didn't do anything. The next morning I woke up, it felt like somebody had rubbed sandpaper all across my lungs. And I said, I am not going there. So I came out and I got my Vitamix. And I tore off a chunk of ginger, about like that. And I know if you have problems with any of this stuff, modify it to your needs. Because I'm going to tell you, turmeric, where's the turmeric? It's in here. Turmeric, what's turmeric for, by the way? Do you know it's an anti-cancer? All right. It's an antioxidant. It's anti-cancer. It's antibacterial, it's antifungal. So I'm going to put some water in here to begin with. And I'm just going to, oh, thankfully it didn't spill too bad. Anyway, I'm just going to make one, okay? And I'm going to make the one, but it's my recipe. When I was telling you about when I got this, and I don't worry about taking all the stuff off. It's just fiber. Somebody said it's just fiber, so I said, okay, I'll go with it. Hard work. It's going to be blended up by this thing, but you can take off the, a lot of it just by cutting it. You can take a lot off. And I know I put 8 cloves of garlic. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are not enough. Anyway, so I put down 6 to 8 cloves because everybody's a little different. Now I've had to modify that for some people, and it's okay. If you can't take it as powerful as this, then dilute it. You notice I usually do this for 1. But in case somebody needs more, I brought something to dilute it. So about a tablespoon or a heaping tablespoon of turmeric. And you can use a couple of turmeric roots if you have it. So that's about maybe a tablespoon. All right. And then I use a big chunk of ginger, and I take off some of the ends that don't look so good, and I might take off some of this just to trim it down a little. But again, it's fiber, and I don't waste my time taking a lot of all that stuff off. All right, so I've got my garlic, and look, it says 6 to 8. I use the higher number, and I might even use it higher nowadays. But anyway, then I took a half of a large onion. This is what I did when I was sick and I felt like my lungs had sandpaper rubbed on them. They felt terrible. By the way, do you know that there's quercetin in your onion peels? So all this stuff that I cut off the onion, including all this brown papery stuff, put it in my pot of water, boil it. Quercetin is good for your heart. And why buy it if you can get it from an onion peel? All right, so then I take half of a large onion, and I put it in my blender. 4 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons is 15 milliliters, which is half an ounce. So these are, how many ounces? 2. So I'm going to fill it at least half full, maybe more. So once you get it well blended, so you just put a little liquid in there first, get it well blended, and you put the rest of the liter in there, and you blend it lightly again. I was telling you I got COVID, and my lungs were like somebody had rubbed sandpaper, and coarse sandpaper, not the fine. Okay, so I made this drink. And you notice how big this is, okay? It was up to here. I drank all of it that day. All of it that day. And I made another one the next day, and I drank all of it that day in about 4 times. So every couple of hours, I would drink another cup. And 3 days, I drank this about every hour or 2. And within 5 minutes of the first drink, the sandpaper effect went away. But I didn't stop. Okay, I'd been told about COVID and I wasn't going to stop. Okay, so 4th and 5th day I had half of each. I made another one and then I had half one day and half the next.